What's up, everybody? Episode 54. You're watching Evening Hour Live. Grab a drink and here we go. Oh yeah. And we are live. Come on in. Okay, folks. Cheers. Steven, Keith, Eric, Amanda, come on in. Party time, Wednesday night style. All right. Whoa, the thing skipped. All right, folks. Let's jump to the vinyl. I am getting tired of CDs. They're worse than vinyl. With the skipping, I mean. Vinyl kicks them all out. What's up, everybody? Cardone here. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if it's coming in crispy clear. I'm still grasping all of the tech. Yeah, I am. I'm learning. This is ridiculous how much tech's involved in pulling this off. What up, Eric, Steven, Keith? We got other people in here. If you're new to this silly channel, hit that like, hit the subscribe. I'm going to rock this cup. One of my viewers in here, Helen, and her pals, who are Clownvis fans, that's how they found me, sent me this cup in the mail, and I love it. I really do. This is now my online cup. I like the size. It holds a lot. Actually, here. I'm going to pour this in. So this drink I'm drinking right now, thank you. The drink I'm drinking right now, right here, it's called All Out Athletic Brewing Company. No alcohol, super dark. Talon, how are you? Come on in. So I got a lot to say before the episode tonight. A lot going on. A lot. This is definitely a Sean Auberg t-shirt. Yes. Correctamundo, Steven. I just got it. I cut all the sleeves off of my shirts. This is what it looks like. That's the whole. I'm a sucker for Frankenstein stuff. I have a lot to say today before we get started. Wow. Okay. First of all, if you're new to the channel, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the notify, and all of that nonsense. Up, Keith, you got your message. Yeah, I have it set, so if somebody swears, I set it for the really bad words, just because we got kids watching. But honestly, I don't care. You must have said something that the computer didn't like. Sharky, good show tonight. Excellent show. Cheers. So, a lot to say. This whole year has been nuts. I don't have to mention that to you, but for me, it's been pretty nutty. Normally, my spring is busy season. I get booked to do bar mitzvahs, weddings, christenings, school shows, graduation parties, corporate-y stuff, fashion week events. I get some of those. Fashion week in New York City's in the spring and in the fall. So, and you know, last year, gone. This year, it's starting to come back a bit. Good sign for everybody. So, I've been getting lots of bookings. So, but what's funny is, I've made myself busy doing this show. So now I'm extra busy. I've added a new layer to my busy life. So normally I have like, you know, all my gigs, my personal life, taking care of my house and my car and my health, right? Put all the gigs in there. It's a lot. Now I have this new thing. My online teaching that I do. Anybody that ever wants to do a private one-on-one magic lesson, I do those. I do them all through the week. CPO Sharky. No, I said Elizabeth Voiter Shark is in here. Voiter Shark has a name that sounds like a metal band. Look at that, Voiter Shark. It's literally a metal band ready to go. Or Void Shark. So now I'm extra busy. Why? Because I do this show 3 days a week, and it's an insane amount of work on top of all my other stuff. So listen to this. Tomorrow, I got a Zoom show for, I think it's a high school, and then I go do an actual live magic gig at my local restaurant that I do magic at every week. I love it. It's my dream walk-around magic show gig. Friday, I'm here with you. We're going to have a good one. I haven't decided yet which one, but it'll be fun. I'm also going to do a giveaway, a prize giveaway on Friday. Let me know when you get your prizes that you already won. On top of it, Saturday night, I'm going to be on Clownvis's show. Burt Reynolds. Oh, yeah, Sharky. Oh, yeah, right. I forgot that movie. So, yes, follow Clownvis. C-L-O-W. Clown, V-I-S. V-I-S. Clownvis. Clownvis Presley. He's got a great YouTube channel. Cassius! What up, brother? So Saturday night, I'm going to be on his show. He's going to interview me. I'm a good friend of his from a long time ago. I met him doing gigs, so we got a lot to chat. And I have deep respect for that guy. Oh, yeah, we're going to talk a little PEZ tonight. Actually, a lot PEZ. So that's Saturday. On Monday, I'm here. Tuesday, I tape a podcast. It's not going to come out right away. It's not a live show, but it's called the Poopy Podcast. And basically, they get people, sit them in a chair, and interview them and ask poop questions. Yes, you got it right. Very kind of shocking. And I actually clown, C-L-O-W-N, V-I-S, like Elvis, but clown. My independent studying's every morning. That's how I wake up. Yeah, I got really busy recently. So, the Poopy Podcast that I'm going to be doing, I have a really good poop story that's worthy of a storytelling show. That's why I'm going to do it. Monday here, live. I got a great guest. It's my second guest. His name is Marcus Monroe. He's a world-class juggler. Disney cruise car, all the cruise lines. He's a professional comedian and juggler that does a one-man juggling show, which is hard to do. You're gonna love him. Good friend. I'm gonna interview him on Monday. I think he's gonna teach me a juggling stunt, and I'm gonna teach him how to do a trick. Should be really fun. So that's the busy schedule. Yes, and so for philosophy, my independent study right now. Hey, Mama! What up, Mama? How are you, Mom? Cheers, Mom. Remember Carol Burnett's little thing that she would do to her mom at every show? If you ever watched the Carol Burnett show, she would go like this. That meant I love you to her mom. Oh, there you go. Francis Cardone. Yeah, Mom. There you go. So my philosophy studies, I've been digging a little deeper into the Cynics, which is what a lot of tonight's going to be about. But before we get to the Cynics and the Stoics, before we get to the Cynics and the Stoics and the Epicureanists and all the other, I gotta talk about the three-letter word, also known as PEZ. Now, if you go back, I don't know how many episodes ago, I did a whole episode on PEZ, the history of PEZ. I went to the visiting center twice, and I became a PEZ expert pretty quick. Now, I've collected PEZ over the years, but literally like this many. I don't know, 15, 20? All of my favorites. Some of which I got in the early 70s when I was little. A lot of them are from just around here and there. I like PEZ. I've always liked them. And going to the PEZ Museum, I learned the history and the scope of all Okay, here we go. So here already in the chat, folks, you got my chat group is awesome. Cassius just wrote a little poop story in there. Well, wait till you hear my story. If you get to hear the poop podcast, it's shocking, but awesome. Everybody has a good pooping story. Not everybody's willing to talk about it, which is kind of crazy. Where was I? Oh yeah, PEZ. So yeah, I became kind of an expert overnight just because of the amount of studying I did on the history and the grand scheme of the whole thing of what PEZ is. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that tonight, but basically, go watch my old PEZ episode. I don't know what number it is. 38? I don't know. We're on episode what? What? No, not the hand cam, not the Zoom, not the NewsHour trailer. Here we go. 54. My God. I can't even remember. All right, so check it out. Yesterday, I went to a friend's house. He's actually in the chat sometimes. I don't know if he's in the chat tonight. Oh, and if you're new to this channel, hit that stupid like and subscribe. Trying to get to 1,000, almost at 700. You got to hit the notify bell too. My buddy, Rick Sherman, who's in the chat sometimes, he and his wife just moved to a new house. They had a lot of junk they were getting rid of and thrown out. And they had a massive PEZ collection that his wife, Beth, has been collecting over the years. And they decided to give it to me. And that's how we're going to get into this. Before we get there, I got to mention a little bit about what goes on in the chat. For those of you in the know, I don't know if you remember what to do, but if you write an exclamation point and the word points right beside it right now in the chat, it will tell you my my robot. I got to name my robot. What the heck am I going to name my robot? It'll come to me. So my robot will tell you how many points you have. And then you can save those points and buy stuff at my store that's in the description. There's a link. Now, how do you get more points? By chatting. The more you chat in the chat box, it racks up points. And I just made it so that you get double what you were getting before. So you're going to be getting more points. The other, oh, here we go. Sharky just put it in. Let's see how many points she has. All right, she has 46 points. Now, if she wants to get more points, she can gamble them too. Here we go. Let's see what Cassie says. Because you're a new watcher. No, you got to put an exclamation point, Helen, right in front. What's up, Peter? Welcome. I'm just explaining to the new people here what these points do. Now, here's how you gamble the points. You got to put the exclamation point at the beginning. All right. So, Cassius, Sharky, check this out. If you want to know how to get more, you can gamble, but you might lose. You put exclamation point, risk, space, and then how many points you're willing to gamble. So check it out. Let's say you put exclamation point, risk, space, 5 points. If you roll below, there's a dice roll that, all right, let's see. Let's try it out. Watch. It rolls a random percentile dice. So Cassius, try to do 2 points, Cassius. Put exclamation point, risk, space, 2 points. Who has 130 points? Oh, Helen has 130, yeah. Well, some people in here. Oh, yeah, here we go. Look, people are risking them. Let's see. Up. See, Sharky just won 20. Helen just won 60 points. There you go. Wow. I love it. Okay. So that's how it works. So go ahead, play the game. Say, oh, here he goes. Peter's going to risk 5. Let's see. Up 2. Here we go. Peter. There you go. Peter, you have a bad losing streak on here, but a good winning streak for the dice one. You might win again this week. All right, see, there you go. Now you get it. So if anybody new's in the chat, you'll see you can make points. If you get to 700 points, there's a prize. If you get to 1,000, you get a cool poster, these limited edition ones. And I'm going to add more stuff as it goes. I'm actually going to add soon Toilet Boys vinyl. We're going to put a couple of these up. So chat away, make some points, gamble, have fun. It is totally fun. I love that there's layers in this show now. There's like this, there's the chat, and then there's like this game. So here we go with PEZ. My really, really good friends, Rick Sherman and Beth Sherman, gave me Beth's PEZ collection. And I'm going to be honest, it's a lot. It's more than 500, 600. I mean, folks, you have no... This is just a little bit. Now, the reason why I decided to call tonight's show Cynics, Stoics, and PEZ Oh My is... yeah, oh, I love this. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not... This is a robot now. Oh, someone just won. Oh, no, someone lost. So, the reason... Well, Friday, the prize is going to be PEZ, just so you know. Whoever's in this. Friday's PEZ. And some other cool stuff. But, so, the reason why I'm doing this on PEZ and philosophy is accumulating these things made me think. I started thinking about some stuff. What'd you lose? You lost all your points? And a motor mount? I started thinking, I am such the opposite of what you would think would be the right path of peace of mind by having, and this is just a small portion of the crap I tote around. All the years I've been moving, I've been carrying a lot of stuff around. And I don't ask anybody to help me move, and I also don't use moving companies. I have in the past, but I own this house with my friends now, so I'm here. I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. Cheers to that. I started thinking, God, I'm such not the Buddhist. Buddhism is all about detachment from things. And if you have things, it means you're going to lose them, so don't have anything, right? Well, that to me sounds a little bit like the Cynics stuff. And we're going to talk a lot about the Cynics and then go into the Stoics a bit. And we're going to be talking about PEZ too. Before we get to that, I want to show you, look at this PEZ. So I am a sucker for bunnies. That's not with that. Look at this one here. Can you believe that? It literally is a mechanical one that comes out. I mean, endless PEZ. I even have the stuffed ones in here. I have, so getting this collection, I got, it was like my whole one room was just PEZ everywhere. We got big ones that hold entire PEZ packages. I have mini ones, big ones, mechanical ones. I've got PEZ bubbles. I mean, it's endless. Most of them are still in the packages like this. And I had to sit with my little girl, who's not so little anymore. She's 15, or 14, turning 15. And we had to, like, go through them and organize them. And one of the things we had to do is unfortunate. Oh, someone's losing. You see this here? Okay, it's in the package. It's old. It's cool. Some of them are from other countries, but I don't know if you can see this. It's damaged. You see this black goop? You see that? That is the PEZ. Look, I'm going to squeeze it. Look, it's squishy. That is melted PEZ. Over the years, being in a basement, it absorbed moisture and ruined it. So me and my little girl actually opened up all the ones that were like this. Took them out of the package. And I left a few just to show you. A lot of them are in these kind of bags. And even here, you can see, it's, let me get this one, goopy. So, ooh. This is actually leaking. So, I had to deal with that. We organized them in trays like holiday, Disney, superhero, right? I mean, endless. Here's an entire box of just Looney Tunes right here. Some of the ones in here, I guarantee you they'll not sell ever again. Like the one of Speedy Gonzales. You won't be seeing that probably anytime soon. Pepe Le Pew, Speedy Gonzales. I'm keeping all the politically incorrect ones. Obviously. So what I did is I took a box and put my personal stash in one. Like, these are the ones I love. Let's see. For instance, the trucks. I love the trucks. They actually, like, I like these. There are some vintage ones that hold value. There was nothing in here that was worth in the thousands. There's a couple that are maybe 20 to 50 to 100. Lots of, like, European asterisks. Let's see. I mean, I have a whole bunch of these. These are from the old days. The skulls. My favorite... ones with bodies. This is a PEZ. Oh. Did I just... I think part of my PEZ fell in my drink. No, where did it go? That was hilarious. Here's a full body. And this comes off like a costume. So there was a lot of these. What the heck did I do with the little package? The Santa Claus package fell somewhere. Like right in front of me. Oh, here it is. Santa Claus package. Let me see. What other ones were... I mean, there's a PEZ watch. There are these ones. These are really weird. PEZ pets. Let me try to get a good close-up of this. These ones here have like this weird... You slide it down and you fill this up and then you... It's such an odd concept. I'm keeping these. What else? I mean, it is endless. I love this one. This is a newer one that I liked. The black cat in the package. I might take these out. We also tested candy. There's no candy shelf life date on these. They don't put a date. So, it's hard to tell if you can eat the candy. I basically, if it's older than 5 years, I won't eat it. But 5 years is pretty good for this stuff. It lasts 4 to 5 years, I would say. So I tasted some of them. They start to taste bad after the 10, 20 year mark. I was brave. Oh, look at this one. This is a PEZ. Folks, this is outrageous. It has a flashlight, a magnifying glass, a compass, and a place to stash your PEZ. It's a survival tool. What else? I mean, literally, it goes on, and I wanted to share it with you. So what am I going to do with it all? Well, I do have an Elvis PEZ, my own, that I've had for years. It's in the other room. I do. I like the Elvis stuff. Helen, what's the story with this cup? I love it. I don't know who makes it. It's a beautiful... Anywho. What was I going to say? Oh, what am I going to do with all these PEZs? Well, as you can see, I like to organize stuff on shelves. And there's a little room, like a foyer, that's in my house that kind of leads to an Airbnb area that I rent out. And I have one of the coolest Airbnbs you have ever seen on the beach in New York City. It's designed to explore. There's lots of weird stuff to explore. So the foyer on the way in, I have it decorated with lots of little toys on the wall in, whatchamacallit? The thing that you put metal type things in. What do you call those? I'm not going to sell them, Cassius. No. I'm going to make a special shelf and literally cover a whole wall with PEZ. That's the idea. I'm going to put a little, like, 1-inch board, run them, It's going to be a mini PEZ room. It's like a room, I don't know, 3 feet by 4 feet, little foyer. And I'm going to make it like just everywhere, right? And the good ones, my favorite, go on the other side of the house where my stuff is. I'm going to have the special shelf. Going to read the chats here. Oh, yeah, you saw the title? Yeah, we're going to get into the Cynics in a second. Because, dude, what does it mean to have all this junk? Is it not good for me? Is it I mean, I've been criticized for how much junk I have over the years. Really, from significant others to just people like, dude, really? You have this much junk? It's like a bane upon my existence for some. I can honestly say there's never been a time in my life where this is a 1970s Bartlett Collins goblet. I mean, whatever it is, that's great. I'm a huge fan of this goblet. Honestly, I've never felt like I want to get rid of all my junk. But I've had moments in my life where I weigh how much I like stuff, and I'll get rid of it. Like I said the other day, I got rid of all my G.I. Joe toys and Star Wars stuff, and I don't really have any Star Wars stuff. Okay, Peter, you're going to like this show. Me too. I get both sides of the coin. I do like the Buddhists don't have any attachments. Roll. Thank you, Sharky. Roll without anything and you have no worries. But I also like to curate things. I collect for myself, but I also like showing my collection to others who are interested. Just like if I go to someone's house and they have a collection, if it's something I'm interested in, I will learn something about it. It's like a museum. It's like curating your own museum of weird stuff. And if someone comes to visit you, you get to share your curated stuff. And so I want to talk about the Cynics now. We're going to talk about Diogenes of Sinope. Because what his philosophy was, and the Cynic philosophy, doesn't groove with what I'm doing now. And I want to compare Cynics to the Stoics. And we're going to talk about that tonight. Any questions? Let me know. Oh, bottle caps, love them, and they do last forever. I mean, they're just sugar. So let's get into this. So anybody know about Diogenes of Sinope? Well, okay. Cynic, if you say to somebody they're a cynic, right? What's the textbook definition of cynic? Basically somebody who looks down upon humanity. You know, like they think that they're cynical meaning they see the flaws in humanity and kind of point them out. And there, it tells you how to redeem your points there, the web store. There's only 2 items up. And none of y'all have enough points yet, so. Cynic, as a philosophy, is very different than just saying the word cynical. And I don't think of myself as cynical. I think some people that know me might say I am. Because I do criticize a lot that I see. But I do share one common thing with Diogenes. So, yeah, if it caused me mental stress to keep all this, I definitely would get rid of it. But it doesn't. It makes me feel peaceful. And we'll talk about what happens if I lose it all, or what's it going to do to my brain if it would all burn or something, right? We'll talk about that. Because I do think about these things. So the word cynic comes from the Greek word for dog, which is Kynikoi, Kynikoi means cynic. And they were called the dog philosophers for a reason. And the most famous, to me, he's like the Ramones of philosophers. That's the best way to describe Diogenes. And I really think you should all look up Diogenes. Okay. There is Diogenes of Sinope. And this is the most famous Cynic philosopher of all time. He was so influential to so many people, and it is said that Zeno, he's one of the founding guys of Stoicism. It's not called Zenoism because that would be too much hubris. They named it Stoicism. They said Zeno wrote on the dog's tail, meaning coming from this guy here with all the dogs and his little lantern, and that big old ceramic jug he's in is like a wine jug, and that's where he lived. So Diogenes would be like a squatter punk who lived on the street that was so profound in his way of life that he literally opened the doors for all these people to respect him, and he changed the game. And I want to talk about him. So, what does it mean to be his version of cynicism? Well, in Stoicism, I'm always saying live according to your nature. And when I say that, I mean, what are you supposed to be doing? I don't know. That's up for you to decide. We're not like animals. We don't have a pre-selected course. Spiders make spider webs, and they catch flies and eat them. They have spider babies, and eventually they die. What do? I don't know. A lot of people don't do anything. They do this. They just sit. So living according to your nature, I would say, is like finding your thing and then really focusing on it. And if you do a good job, the end result might be happiness. But that's not why you're doing it. You're not doing it to be happy. You're doing it to do it because it's your nature, just like a spider just does his spider thing. The Cynics, Diogenes, live according to your nature, wasn't that. It was live in nature. Not according to your nature, live according to nature, meaning live like an animal. You don't need anything. Dogs, wild animals don't need anything. They are self-sufficient. And that's what he wanted. He was like, I'm going to live. Now, here's his backstory. And this is kind of neat. First of all, these old cynics, especially him, didn't write anything. There's no writings. Lots of other people were talking about him. So it's kind of hard to nail these stories down as absolute fact. But unlike the Jesus story, and I did a show on this not long ago, all the early mentions of Jesus are visions. That's not a good case for him being a real guy. He might have been a real guy, but it looks like he might not have been. Diogenes was definitely a real guy. A lot of people wrote about him. He would be like if there was a squatter punk in the East Village of New York City that was so brilliant and profound that famous world leaders wanted to meet the guy and hear what he had to say. That's what it would be like. So this guy, Diogenes, he begged on the street. He ate scraps of food, whatever people gave him. He went to the bathroom in public. He did everything in public, including things that are considered to be private. And I won't go into it, but he just did it in open in his little jar, right? And his teaching of the philosophy came from just him living. And he literally was trying to show people things. It wasn't like he just lived and then people would like read into it. He was trying to make a point. One of his little shticks, and I'll call it a shtick, was he would get a lantern and he would go into the crowd in the street of Athens and he would go up to people and look at them. Go, yeah. How about you? And eventually someone would go, what are you doing? And he'd go, I'm trying to find an honest man and I can't find one. And he would just do that until whenever. That was one of his little things that he would do. And he one of the stories was where he was living was about to get invaded, so they sent out an alarm. Hey, get ready! There's an invading army coming. Get your stuff and go. And he rolled his jar up and down a hill, his wine jug that he lived in, and they were like, "What are you doing?" And he acted like, "No, what are you doing? Who cares?" He didn't care about other people's opinions. He wanted to show the world he didn't need anything. Another story is the only thing he owned was his little loinclothy thing, his jug, and a cup made of wood for drinking. And he saw a little kid drinking out of a puddle with his hands, and he went, "I don't need a cup anymore. The kid doesn't need one. I don't need one." So he learned from the kid that little lesson. The most famous story of Diogenes, and this will give you a grasp of his brilliance. Thank you, Helen. 37. PEZ, firearms, and suicide toys. Wow. That's what the title... I forgot my own titles. That's a good title. I would watch that. I need to watch that one again. So here's the most famous Diogenes story. Alexander the Great. Mind you, this is 320-something BC. Okay? This is a long time ago. 300 BC. Wow. Alexander the Great, had one of the largest kingdoms. Who had the largest kingdom per square mile? Was it Genghis Khan, the Mongol king, or Alexander the Great? I'm not sure. One of those guys had like the largest. So, any history buffs know this one? You could probably look it up, but I mean, you can look it up. We can look up anything now. There's no excuse. Alexander the Great, giant leader, heard about Diogenes. He was hearing the stories, so he was like, "I'm going to go meet this guy. I think I'm going to like him." So he went in to where he lived. He had a posse with him. I think he always traveled with a posse because he was obviously a target. And, oh no, you have no idea how weird this guy was. And brilliant at the same time. And Alexander the Great was like, "I want to meet you. Here I am." His first thing that he said, mind you, this is other people telling these stories, so they're a little gray, but he said, "If I couldn't be Alexander the Great, I would want to be you." And Diogenes, sitting in his wine jar in the morning, supposedly it was like the morning, said, "If I couldn't be Diogenes, I would want to be Diogenes." So Alexander the Great would laugh, great. And then he said, "Anything you want, ever, if you ever need anything, you call upon me, and I'll give it to you." And Diogenes went, "Yeah, there's something I want. Can you move out of the sun?" Now Alexander the Great is like, wow, this guy's the real deal. And I have this, okay, so I have a few books now on the Cynics. And the story, and I don't want to mess it up, so I'm not going to tell you too much about it. But basically, Diogenes then started to say things to Alexander the Great that any normal person would get killed for saying. But Alexander the Great realized how brilliant this guy was and was like, "Wow, you're able to make me laugh. Like, you're on my level of how to see things." And I think once you have $1 trillion, you understand maybe what it's like to have no dollars. That's why some of these really rich guys, like the Bill Gates types, money loses its meaning at a certain point, and they go, I can have everything and I don't want anything anymore. They almost like turn into this type of a person. How did people medically treat people who were like the guy who lived in the barrel? They didn't. If you got sick, you died. They didn't. That guy would have not received medical. Supposedly he lived to be about 90, and he died by holding his breath. Who knows? So Alexander the Great's like, I found somebody who's like me, who literally, you can't take anything away from this guy. There's nothing you could do. He supposedly came from a banker family that did some dirty stuff and got banished. He then got sold into slavery at one point, and the guy who bought him and a bunch of other people to work for whatever it was said to the slaves, yo, what do you do? Like, you good at farming? Cool, you're going over there. What are you good at? You're a cleaning, or you're a cleaner? Or you're going to go with the cleanup crew. Diogenes goes, what are you? And he goes, I am the leader of men. Oh, really? All right, well, we'll see about that. He actually ended up freeing Diogenes because he realized this guy ain't a slave. This guy needs to be out doing his thing. So he literally was that brilliant. Now, was he an ascetic? Meaning a monk, like abstaining from a normal life to prove a point? You could say so. His happiness, I wrote this down, his happiness was in his own hands. And he was into the here and now, not the past, not the future. Let me just see here. I want to make sure. So, famous people who liked Friedrich Nietzsche. Friedrich Nietzsche loved the Cynics, but he had beef with the Stoics. Now I want to bring this over to the Stoic stuff a bit. Let me just make sure here. Oh, yeah. He thought Diogenes, Hercules was a role model because he had to train to live like this. He learned how to live in the cold. He learned how to live on basically nothing. And that made him strong, but also appreciate the simple things in life, like a sunny day or clean water or a piece of cheese that somebody gave him, right? He would enjoy them more because he didn't have anything. Yeah, Hercules was one of his role models. So, Diogenes, living like this, the reason why I say he's the Ramones of philosophers is because a lot of people heard about this guy and were like, wow, that's amazing. And then took it and made it their own. They didn't immediately give all their stuff away and go live with the dogs. They took pieces of it and found something. Dude, how do you be like Diogenes? So my questions are this, and this is where I find some holes in it and where it goes into Stoicism and not. So how do you have children and a family and live by those principles? You don't. Almost impossible. So that means then his philosophy isn't a practical one. It's almost like a model philosophy that we'll never get to, but we can use as, hey, that guy did it. It is possible. It's a living philosophy. It's not a written philosophy that you read and go, oh, you see it, you realize in your life what you do wrong or good, and then you go about your day. So he was literally an artist, a performance artist, and his art was his life. There's a word for that. Anybody know? Peter, do you know what that's called? Man-o-war and Cardone. I like the Man-o-war. Like, what is that called when the art is the artist's life? That's what that is. It's a living art almost. So here's where the Stoics come into play. Stoics, the highest thing is the virtue. That's it, virtue. And if you do well with the virtues, happiness is a side result. Saying you're living according to your nature, you're working on your thing, whatever it is, and if you do it well, you get the happiness. And how do you do that? Well, you stick to the virtues. Wisdom, justice, prudence, and what is wrong with me today? I am in outer space today. I'm so foggy today. The fourth one I'll get to. I don't know why I can't remember anything. Wisdom, justice, prudence, and fortitude, strength, mental strength, physical strength, fortitude. And I really do like those, all of them. Prudence is the one that's subtle. I'm not a prude. I just realize you can't overdo it, because if you do, you're not going to be able to enjoy the things you like, right? That's to me what prudence is. So the Stoics, that's the highest thing. Living according to your nature, not literally nature. And That's the goal. It's not to show people how to live. It's just stick to your own stuff. One of the flaws I heard about Stoicism, this is interesting. Tell me what you think of this. Is this. I saw one philosopher guy, I forget his name, he's a YouTuber. He was telling a story about he's become a pretty darn good Stoic in the sense that nothing phases him. If something bad happens, his brain doesn't react to it like, oh no. He's like, oh, okay, I'm going to use that and make it work. Yes, it is, Amanda. It is like a public performance art. That's kind of what he did. But he really was the real deal. Like, he didn't do this and then go home to his fancy apartment. Like, he really did talk the talk and walk the walk. The Stoic, what was I saying about, so the guy's a good Stoic, this philosopher kid. And he's like, look, nothing phases me. He's on a bike ride, his tire blows. All right, I'll walk home. It's going to take forever, but I'm going to enjoy the day. It's a nice day. A week later, it happens again. And he doesn't have his repair kit. So he's like, oh, I got to do it again. And he said, this is maybe a flaw of Stoicism, because if it did upset him the first time, he might have made sure that repair kit was in his bag. So his brain got a little mushy because of his... he was just so content. He's like, it's all good. So I do see that could be a problem, actually. A little anger actually motivate, at least me. If I'm mad, I use it. If I hate something, if somebody makes me so angry to the point of hatred, which can happen, instead of it ruining my day, I use it to my advantage. I literally take the bottled up and go, you know what? What is that person not good at in life? I'm going to make sure today I use this to make myself a better person on those accounts. And I'm going to use my anger towards them, my fuel, to make myself better. And by doing it, the person eventually doesn't make me angry anymore, because I've gotten to the point where their crappy character defects actually taught me lessons and made me grow strong. So I can see the balance here. The other thing is this. This is interesting. Everybody hears about the Diogeny, and they want to kind of use it into their life. So I would say it's the art of not giving a shit. That's it. That's what they take from it. Like, just don't care. If somebody makes you mad, or just don't care what other people's opinions are. And that I identify with the Cynics. And that is definitely part of Stoicism, and a backbone of Stoicism is not emotional coffee. Ooh, good. You're a wordsmith, Fallon. That's a good combo. Love it. Rejection of what the society norms are. That's cynicism. I'm 100% behind that. I was like that as a child. You know, I rejected all traditions that I was told were good. Anything I was told was good, I questioned. Live according to nature, not your nature, which is the cynic version, I'm okay with. I identify more. All right, here's an example. If you told me I could spend an entire afternoon with two different groups of people, and I could hang out with them, eat the food they were eating, and talk about life, two different groups. One would be, let's say, some of the street guys and homeless guys that are down the street in the corner. Literal homeless and street guys. A couple gang dudes. Could go hang out with them for the day and eat the food they're eating and talk to them. Or I could go Upper East Side, duplex, penthouse, 5-star food in their house and get to talk to them. You know right now which one I'm picking. I'm picking the street guys. 100%. I've been that my whole life. If you told me I had to live as a homeless guy, I wouldn't be that sad. I think partly it's because I've had times in my life where I'm really like broke as an artist, and I don't like asking for help. I'm that guy. And I'm okay with it. It's not like I'm miserable. It's just something to deal with. And I find it a little freeing once you're like that. And I understand it. Natural law seems to be the occult term. Yeah, natural law. Yeah, that's it. That is the occult. That would be the occult term for it. Natural law. Yeah. Law of the jungle, too. Lex talionis. I can do a whole show on that. Ooh. What does that mean? My law of the jungle is no matter what, no matter how politically correct we are and and inclusive, we still live by the law of the jungle. It might be on a different term than the other term. So if you get rid of racism, another form of tribalism will come in and smash. That's what, to me, law of the jungle is. You can't eliminate it. It'll change its mask, but it's still tribal animosity. And I don't think it's a taught thing. I think a lot of it is core DNA evolutionary stuff that we're still figuring out. And that would be the law of the jungle. It's inside of us. If you read the book Might is Right, which definitely has racist junk in it, the premise is no matter what you say or do or how peaceful you are and inclusive, there's still a system of predator-prey, wolf-sheep. It just might have different masks. And no matter what, you can hide it, it's still there. It's the law of the jungle. Water seeks its own level. I do believe that. I mean, it's just the natural law of things, how they work. And so the Stoic guy and the Cynic guy, they have a lot of similarities, but the thing that the Cynic has that I find it to be kind of interesting that people don't realize, Diogenes he was an optimist. He wasn't a pessimist. He actually thought everybody can learn to be happy, but they got to realize that society's the one creating this garbage that's part of the problem, and that they need to not care about that and focus on themselves, the present. Now, let's talk about the present. I've talked about this a lot. What is the present? Now? Well, that's already gone. Oh, see, it's gone again. Every single second, it's now the past. Like this. Oh, that's the past, that's the past. See? Why? Because there is no present. It's moving. It's a train. It's a wave. The future. Oh, there it goes. The future's already gone. So the future's not here yet. The present's moving. The only thing we have is the past. It's the only thing we can talk about. Oh, wow. Street retreats. That sounds fun. I mean, I don't need to do it. I could do it here. I could just walk outside. Yeah, we do dividers. I mean, it's just the way it's again, it's tribalism. It's this weird thing that, and tribalism, no matter how horrible it may seem, is how we got to where we are. Being in these tight groups. I personally believe we evolved to be communist in a little group. I hope someone doesn't edit that and take the word little group out. Because they'd be like, we evolved to be communist. No, that's not what I'm saying. We evolved to be communist in a group of 30 people. Most group people are like this. I mean, if you have a small group of people that live near each other or a friends group, it's easier. You have a resource. You're protected. You have a team. You have a gang. You have friends. As soon as you make that group 200 people, 1,000 people, a nation, boo, don't work. And anybody that says it works, they don't study enough about human nature and history. Get out. But I do believe communism on a micro scale is great. Why? Because it fits into the tribal thing. So what does this mean with my PEZ? What does it mean with my junk, my things? Right, money doesn't always make right or happy. Money's just a construct. I agree. Oh, Ashworth has a lot of points. You almost have 300. You're halfway to the mystery box, almost. You could just right now willy-nilly drop. You could sacrifice the whole lot and maybe win. Bam, 300 points. Somebody's going to do it. Well, that's it, Greed. It just, as soon as you have, so, I have this thing called Law of the Shithead. It's one of my own things. And the Law of the Shithead is, there's always going to be a shithead. Always. Always, always, always. And people don't realize that. And so, whenever you have a large group, you're going to have a bunch of them. When you have a small group, it's easier to see them and either deal with them or get them out. When you have a large group of them, the goofballs can congregate and create offset. Feudal city state is about as big as you can go. Interesting. Well, it's funny because feudalism, well, the feudalism is different. I always think of like Walmart as a form of feudalism because you work for the king, you get your drugs from the king, you buy your stuff from the king, you hang out at the king's area, and all of your friends also do the same. Isn't this like feudalism? People are trying to get Ashworth to sacrifice his points. I don't think so. Oh, I love it. So what does this mean with all my junk? I think, well, Diogenes would be like, you're nuts, bro. Get rid of all that junk. Epicurus, yeah, he would probably say the same. He would be like, look, you don't need it. It's not the first line of needs. That's water, bread. It'd be in the second, so it's okay. Just don't go overboard. And that's where I lie. I look at my collections as two things. I am stimulated by visual imagery, whether it be a sunset or a beautiful piece of artwork or a sculpture, whether it be a toy or a lava lamp, which you can't see tonight for some reason. My camera is zoomed in a little bit. I have to adjust my camera. And not only am I curating all this junk, I do show it to people. When they come over to my house, it's a source of fun because if they collect the stuff, I have something to share with them. So when I meet another toy collector or a monster collector, we share it, and I look at it as I'm just curating stuff that in another 100 years, a lot of it's going to be gone. It's going to be gone. I like a lot of obscure things that most people don't care about. And I don't want them to be gone for... I realize everything is going to be gone. Everything that we know of, including planet Earth. All of it. Everything we know. I'll look and I'll be like, wow, one day this or anything I own will be into oblivion. Because even if that ends up in a landfill after I'm long dead and gone, eventually that landfill will be gone because the sun turns into a supergiant and consumes it all. Uh-oh, Cassius, you lost all your points. Well, you better chat away because that's how you're going to get more points. New people that join the group get points. If you subscribe, you get points. Right? I think you get 10 right off the bat. Or 20. I forget what it is. Yeah. So what do I do with all this stuff? Well, I believe it is according to my nature to collect. Ever since I was little, I took care of my toys. I preserved them. I cleaned them. I kept all the parts together. It gave me something to do, something to care for. And what did I get out of it? A meditative kind of thing. I got a good feeling that I did something because one day people are going to want to see these things and they're not going to be able to see them. And I'm going to be like, hey, I got them. So what is that? Is that my ego? Is it my... What is that? I don't know. That's why I did this show. Oh my God. Peter just rolled 100 and got triple. So that's how that works. See how that works? You tripled your points. Yeah, great. Yeah, so that's why I wanted to talk about this tonight, because I want to sort it out too. Like Peter said, you're part Buddhist, part not Buddhist, like you like to collect things, right? I feel the same. And I do feel that if I lost all of my stuff, I can't say that I wouldn't be upset. I would like to think I wasn't. But if everything I know of burned to the ground, it probably would upset me so much I wouldn't be upset. I don't know how else to phrase that. If I lost certain things, I don't know. It's such an odd concept, but I do think about it. I think I would get over it and either A, try to collect things I really liked again, or not. I don't know. I've parted ways with many things that meant a lot to me by either gifting them or selling them because I was broke. And it didn't mean anything. Like, I think back at some toys I had that I wish I didn't sell, and I'm like, it doesn't mean anything. I have other toys that I value higher than those, maybe, so it didn't matter. Nothing matters at the end of the day. That's what I learned from the Cynics. Like, nothing really matters. And from the Stoics, anything that upsets me, I just reframe it. I just take it, and the only thing I can do is have a better outlook on it. You know? Anytime someone says something to somebody they don't like, there's only one person in charge of it affecting them, and that's the person with the ears listening. They're in charge of it. Yeah, I'm passionate about the arts. Yes, I honestly, I am stimulated from my stuff. I mean, it gives me ideas. You know, I look at this stupid little bunny. Like, what does this do to me? You wouldn't think that somebody like me would like this PEZ so much. I like bunnies, pink, green, and light blue Easter colors. I've always liked them, even though I like dark stuff, you know. Yeah, creating an environment for me is the petri dish of how to become productive creatively. If you don't live in a my mom used to say this. Mom, if you're watching, I remember you saying this. You have to wake up in the morning and go, I want to be here. This is where I want to live. When I have friends tell me when they're moving for work or something, I'm like, look, first you just got to figure out where do you want to live, and then find out what you want to do. Because imagine having the dream job, but waking up in a place you don't want to be. Then how is that a dream job? That doesn't make any sense to me. The three most important things are eat, breathe, shelter, and friends. And so if you're missing the shelter and friends and community part, I don't care how cool the job is, you gotta wake up and be like, I like looking at these trees or whatever it is. You have to enjoy, that has to be number one. And I do. I like where I am. I like New York City. I like the beach in New York City. And I like my community and my friends. And I always have, and I always will. I have the greatest friends in the world. I got my tight circle of friends, my loose circle, and then my acquaintances. And I really like and get a lot out of each one of those circles. And that's what I have to hold inside of me. And waking up every day knowing this is where I want to be changes the whole game. And then I take it another step where I created a total environment. I created my fantasy world that I would like to be in. Now, The thing that I always find interesting are people that think it's a little too much or whatever. Um, they do it too. They just don't realize it. You know, people put things on the wall that they want to see. It's just, I'm shocked sometimes at how boring it is. And I'm like, well, maybe they're boring, but they want to see that. So they put it on the wall. Or they felt, if I put this on the wall, those guys will like it. And then that makes them feel good that those guys like it. They might do that. I don't think that's a good idea, because now you're doing something for their benefit that has nothing to do with you enjoying it. But I would never. Oh, yeah. The bunny mask? Yeah, it's right. That bunny mask gets a lot of use. So, honestly, on the note of living the way I do, we have this Toilet Boy song called Millionaire. I'm sure you know it, Keith, and some of you. That song, Millionaire, to me means a lot. I think about it all the time. It's to me what the band's message was that I really hold in my heart. And that is, you can be broke and live like a damn millionaire. 100%. You can receive all the benefits and things and foods and funds and vacations and hobnobbing with royalty and blah, blah, and be Diogenes. You can. That's basically been my life. I mean, people gave. Why did someone give me all of their PEZ? Why? Well, because they're my friends, but more than that. They knew I was going to like them, and they knew I was going to take care of them. I'm responsible. They knew that if they ever wanted to come see their beloved PEZ collection again, they can come to my house. I'm not going to sell them. I'm going to give some away. Friday night, I'm going to give a whole bunch away. So, yeah, like, acceptable environment. Yeah, mine's a perfect environment. If I, like, dude, the advent of cheap lighting that you can order on Amazon, my God, I've been going crazy with lighting shelves and making it perfect, right? It's fun. It's like a Lego set, but real life. People give me things all the time. Why? Because they know I'm going to take care of them. They know I'm going to clean them. I've been cleaning PEZ and, like, you know, changing the batteries so they don't leak. They know I'm going to care for it like a pet. And it'll last for years and years. And I will pass my junk on to somebody else. I told my kids, I was like, look, when I croak, what are you going to do with all this junk? You got to think about it. You know, like, yes, you can keep the things you like, sell the things you don't. My friends can all come grab some stuff, whatever. I don't know if it would all stay together, get split up. Don't know. But people give me stuff all the time because they know I'm going to be responsible and take care of it. And I enjoy it. I like that. It's not a burden for me. It actually feels good. It's my hobby. It's my nature. And, yeah, that's what we're going to end it tonight. I could keep going on and on. I want to know your thoughts on this. If you're new to this, hit the like and subscribe, people. And also, look at the crazy games in here. Who won the most points tonight? Somebody did. I think Peter, you might have won. Peter, you didn't get that book yet in the mail? I sent it last Friday. Thursday or Friday, because my post office was a mess. Maybe Thursday I sent it. It shouldn't take that long. You should have got it, like, I don't know, 3 days ago? Or no, wait. It's Wednesday. Okay, you'll probably get it today or tomorrow. Peter is in their nature to bend. I don't know what that means. Yeah, I honestly, I think a lot about lots of things all day. I scribble note. Yeah, I don't know why you didn't get it. I have all the tracking, so if it gets lost. Some stuff might end up in a museum. I have some rare stuff here. I don't have a crazy, yeah, money is the slave to the intangible. That's a good way to phrase it. Yeah. I mean, obviously we need money to live a normal life. I mean, to live without money is you know, That's what the whole artist dilemma, like, you have the artists that are like the businessmen type, and then you have the ones that aren't, and you have the ones that are both, and I just think it's a balance. I will say none of the art I do ever comes from the advent of what's going to make the most money. Never, ever, never, never, never. I don't look at it that way. I really, I honestly, every act I come up with, every performance I come up with, I'm just trying to be honest and share a little moment of wonder that's going to make that person happy. That's it. It's such a simple thing. I like doing it, and hopefully it gives them something to think about. It tickles their imagination and makes them want to go learn more about the wonders of Earth. That's it. Do I create things because I know I can charge more money? All right, so over the years, I realized that if I do the bigger tricks, like the disappearing girl in the box, obviously I can charge more money for that. But I didn't, like, it has nothing to do with that. I wanted to do that ever since I was a kid. I was like, I think I should learn how to do that. A, I'll make more money, but B, I want to do it. I would love to be able to do a magic trick that 3,000 people, or I think the biggest crowd I ever did that trick for was the Nathan's hot dog contest. I don't know if you were there. Amanda, you might have been there for that. Were you out there at Coney for that? It was like 14,000 people. Now, you can't do this in front of 14,000 people, okay? They're not going to see anything. So you need a big trick. So anything I do comes from my heart, and money, I try to not let it get in the way. But I got to be honest, I just turned down a job because it didn't pay high enough. I just got an offer to do a show, and the agents were like, it's low. You get it if you don't want to do it. And I was like, I can't moralistically do it for that low because it's just not cool. Like, there's other guys that'll do it for that low, but they're asking a lot for this, and I know they have this much money, so no. So I will turn things down, but oh wow, Flip Wilson. Wow, I haven't heard that name in a long time. I used to watch that when I was little. The point system. Okay, Cassius. You have points from chatting. You just chat, you get points. The more you chat, the more points you get, and then you can gamble them. That's all it is. And if you save them, you can get stuff. I'm going to put some lower priced items up on the prizes. Maybe in a week, I'll start putting like maybe something for 500, something for 400, a couple things. Yeah, that was a big crowd, those Coney Island hot dog contests at Nathan's. Big, massive crowds. Hopefully this summer is going to be good. So yeah, that was my thoughts tonight. I had a lot to say because I'm still sorting this out. I'm not happy with my flow tonight because I'm a little loose on, because the Stoic thing, I get it. I understand it. I study it. I read all the Cynic thing is a little weird because it's not really a First of all, it's not a written philosophy. There's books like here. Where's the book I just got? So this book here I just got. It's called Cynics by William Desmond. And it's a study guide for students, for philosophy students, because there's no Cynic Bible. There's no like go-to. And also there's Diogenes didn't write anything. I have a book with everything other people wrote about him, but he didn't write it. So this book breaks it down, and it shows you through the years how other philosophers like Nietzsche used this as a model. Now, Nietzsche didn't like the Stoics. He had some problems. He thought it was rigid, that it creates... What did I write? So he thought living according to your nature, Nietzsche, no laws or principles, self-tyranny. He thought it was like a form of self-tyranny that the person being a Stoic is kind of antagonizing those around them. But he liked the Cynics because they gave up everything. You know, the whole concept is you just give it all up. So yeah, even Nietzsche had some weird stuff with the Stoics. The Stoics I like because it's more practical for living a real life. You know, how does Marcus Aurelius use cynicism in its true core? He can't. He's busy. So he used the Stoic philosophy as a practical philosophy for somebody in his shoes. And the funny thing is, that philosophy for an emperor will work for a homeless guy. It's the same philosophy, no different. Yeah, let's go to the chats here. We're going to pull the plug on this. Yes, Keith. Yeah. Yeah, Toilet Boys, everybody in the band is a real deal. Everybody that's what I was proud. I am proud to be in that band. Each member we really talked the talk and walked the walk, and we did work from the ground up, and it was a DIY all the way. We all did it. That song Go Go Boy is real. I mean, the songs are about our lives. It's glam rock, or punk, what do you call it? I don't know. I don't even know. To me, we were a rock band. But that glam image came from something very real, and it wasn't. I never liked bands that played dress up for dress up's sake. I like it when it comes from something. Even if they're dressed up, it still comes from. That's why I like Gwar. Yes, they're dressed up, but it really comes from something. It means something deep. And Gwar, those costumes organically became what they are now. It wasn't like overnight one of the band members in Gwar was rich and paid for all those fancy costumes to be made. Can you imagine? No. They made them all with their bare hands because they're artists. I love Gwar. Yeah. Folks, what a great show. I'm like, I want to go study more. Tonight's show made me want to go read my book more. I'm reading that Cynic book. I'm reading a really deep look at Epicurus and the deep meaning of some of his philosophy stuff that I don't understand. This concept of him being an early atheist from a polytheistic point of view and believing in many truths, I'm fascinated with, and I really want to look into it. I do think there are many truths that lead to one thing, kind of. That's kind of how I feel. Wow, we got a nice solid crowd tonight, folks. Thank you. Listen, yeah, if you're supporting this show by liking my page, that is the greatest thing you can do. Like, subscribe, notify. If you're having fun, I've got crazy shows. We give away prizes. I've got a web store where you can spend your points. And we do the dice thing where you roll the dice and I mail packages in the mail. Free of charge. That's just the way it is. And I like it that way. At one point, I was going to do it where you could donate money and get points. And my son, very stoic, said, you know, if you do that, it diminishes your loyal people that chat a lot. And I went, you're right. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing buy points. Okay? If somebody wants to donate, there's the there's the donate button. They can just donate. And people, I'm going to be honest, the donations are legit. Because of the donations, whether it be the $5 one, the $20 one, the $100 ones, it's paid for all my gear. I have a very fancy camera, a fancy mic, and a fancy light setup because of all of you. So thank you so much. And if you can't donate, I don't care. Just like the page, subscribe it. That's all. Just trying to keep it moving. I have a blast doing these. And I really respect my crowd in here. Well, Cassius, Gwar. It's a loud, over-the-top band, in character, monster characters, that The reason why I like them is they're singing on a few levels. Yes, they're singing as these terrible monsters, but they're also making a point, and I like them a lot. You know, maybe I'll end tonight with the odorous rant. It's one of my favorite rants. Yes, Keith, thank you, brother. And I'm gonna end with an odorous rant. It's a little R-rated, Cassius. Cassius is, what grade are you now? 5th grade? I love that I have kids, old people, young people. We get the whole gambit here. This is a show about stimulating creative and learning and wisdom. I mean, that's what this is. I'm just trying to stimulate you, and I'm stimulated by it. I'm going to play, while you guys gamble, the odorous rant that I love so dear, and then I'm going to take it out. So first, we're going to do the odorous rant. It's only a few minutes long. This is the lead singer of Gwar, who passed away 7 years ago now. And they have a new singer who's the original bass player, and he's great, but he ain't no odorous. Here's odorous.
Oh, it was an absurd disaster. It was a debacle. You know, we went, they nominated us for a Grammy, and then they didn't even want us to come to the damn party. We showed up anyway, you know, hung around until Michael Jackson was done, and then beat it before Billy Ray Cyrus hit the stage. I mean, I could go on and on. You know, we were posing for some stupid photograph with Michael Green, the president of NARIS at the time, and the LA Times had asked me, they said, Odorous, what do you think about being nominated for a Grammy? And I replied, quite honestly, it means nothing to me. It is a meaningless accolade bestowed upon Gwar by a retarded child. Now, apparently that didn't go over very well with the showbiz community, whom I live to destroy. Now, let me tell you something. Those fucking celebrities giving each other awards is the last thing they need. Heaping gift bags with $50,000 watches inside of them, the privileged elites of your society, heaping prizes and praises and meaningless awards. What about an award for that girl who's working 60 hours a week so she can feed her 2 kids because her husband is overseas fighting your freaking war so you guys can have your gas-guzzling fucking... Sorry, I get a little worked up about that shit. And then Dave Grohl gets up there on the Grammys. He's like, hey, I'm Dave Grohl. Oh, God, please let me suck some more corporate cocks. I get some more cocks in my mouth. Quick, let's get some more cocks on stage for Dave Grohl to suck. He's not sucking enough. We think he can suck some more. Get Billy Joe from Green Day over here. Let him suck some cocks too. Like, okay, bring him in, guys, bring him in. Still, there wasn't enough cocks for Dave Grohl to suck. He actually, do you know that Dave Grohl had his teeth removed so he could fit more cocks in his mouth? No. Oh, it was an absurd disaster. It was a debacle.
You gotta love that, folks. You gotta love that. I was just gonna say, I was typing, Dave Grohl is anointed. Gwar will never be anointed. That's right. They only anoint those who follow the rules. They do not anoint the ones that don't. If they think you're gonna point out, like the Cynics, their folly, you're not getting in. And on that note, watch out for the anointed ones. I'm Cardone. I hope you guys had a good time tonight. Spread the news, because this show's fun. And, yeah, I'll see you Friday night. We got a show. And then Saturday, I'm on Clownvis's show. And on Monday, I have a special guest here, a world-class juggler. And if that ain't enough, it's going to get crazier as we keep this moving. I love my crew here. I'm going to take you out with my outro. What is anointed? Oh, good question. Anointed is like when a religious leader takes magic religious oil and rubs it on your head and goes like this. It means you are now special. You're accepted. When I use the word anointed, that's what I mean. You are accepted in our group. We're going to put the magic oil, welcome to our club, follow the rules, make lots of money. That's what I mean. yeah, I had fun tonight. I hope you guys are having fun. I'm having a lot of fun here. I'll see you on Friday. Party on, Wayne.